Good morning.
Oh, that was pretty good, Tim.
That's good with that cat down in the back, man.
I'm going to excuse myself for a second, but
Uh-oh.
y'all young people talk amongst you.
Well, we got Little Lone Prepper, Shift Kicker, Lisa, Dana B, Mitch, B Charming. Oh, oh, what's this? I don't see Nate in here yet. Oh, no.
B Charming?
Is that me?
What's this? I don't see Nate in here yet.
Oh, yeah. That's Jeff, one other. I don't have mine up yet.
Yeah, I don't have it up.
Yeah, I'm still unmuted anyway.
Shall I send the link to Agent J?
Oh, okay.
Okay, there is no more echo.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't know.
It's all right.
No, yes, there is. Echoes in chat.
Echoes in chat.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. How they doing tonight? Excuse me. Well, now, if I'm talking to Echo in chat, do I have to say everything twice?
I don't know. I don't know how that works. Hey, Life with Bobby. How's it going tonight?
Hello,
we were just talking about the weather and stuff, and Tim's getting hit with some more rain, and another big storm's coming. Or I should say, more rain is coming.
Depends on the front if it's going to be colder or not.
And you would think with all this rain we've been getting in the wintertime, that lakes would be really filled up and rivers would be really filled up. It kind of makes you wonder, where's all this rainwater going? Because summertime, it's all drought and global warming. And I'm pretty sure they'll say this is global warming because it's raining and not snowing, even though I walk outside and it's snowing outside. If it's global warming, why isn't it like 80 degrees out right now in the winter? It's like 28 degrees right now.
Hello, What Life. Happy Friday the 13th to you too. That's my luckiest day.
Hey, Connie Carlo, and we got Suburban Hillbilly snuck in here.
We got Dana B. I don't know if you said her name or not.
Yeah.
Well, it's like an echo. I said it again.
Yeah, the bot's a bit slow tonight. I might have to restart him.
It's the 13th.
It's scared.
Yeah, it done spit all of its 9 lives in one go round.
Yeah, the thing with the global warming, if you want to call it global warming, it's global warming, but it's something that cycles every 100 years or so. They had global warming back in the day. It's what happened to Oklahoma, the Dust Bowl and all that stuff, in Texas area. Did they say global warming? Oh, we got to stop using kerosene lanterns.
Now, wait a minute. I may be off with my seasons or whatever, but in history, wasn't there a year without a winter?
I have come here to chew bubble
Wait a
gum
minute.
gas.
Lots up and going. Got 2 more. That's one. Well, evidently it forgot the other 2. But now it seemed like to me there was a year, I want to say, without winter.
Well, the winter's there. It's just
Yeah.
the weather is not bad.
Right.
Hey,
It
look,
was-
it's Shift Kicker,
Wasn't
the one and only robot that will kick your butt.
Okay, Lisa and shift kickers in. But I mean, you're right. It was here, but I think the weather was either warm or whatever. All right, Prepping 101, you wanting to be funny tonight.
Yeah, they still have
Santa
years
Claus.
that the weather's not that bad. But that's the thing. It's weather. It's not set in stone that we're going to have 6 feet of snow in a winter every year.
True.
That's what makes and it's like Tin will say this. It's has
Okay.
to do with what's out in space too. That has a lot to do with our weather.
True. Now, I was wrong. Little Lone Prepper said it was a year without summer in 1816.
Oh, okay.
See, I'm not quite that old. Maybe nose picking can remember that.
You sit there and think about it. A lot of times when, like we've had, I think it was last week or something, we had all the planets line up.
Yeah.
And that has to have some kind of effect because you have a straight line of planets and they're all pulling and pushing different directions. That has to do with something with the gravity, and we have a moon up there that does stuff with the gravity, and they've found this other planet that mysteriously came from nowhere.
Well, now, maybe 10 can answer this a little bit better. But wouldn't it be just the moon having an effect on us? Because the way I'm looking at it, Mars and the rest of them are out a little bit further than the moon.
No, if you're in this system,
Solar
Okay.
system.
one thing happens and it triggers everything.
Yep.
Okay.
Because one little pull, it's physics. One pull somewhere pulls from something else, then pulls from that, and then so forth and so forth.
And
On
then
down the
that
line.
field thing too.
Yeah. And then when we have things flying through space, that disrupts gravity and all different stuff. So that's why we don't have a set temperature every day, or there's different weather whenever.
Look at that. TH2 trying to give me and 101 a hug. I want to say something so funny about that. I'm going to leave that alone. That's the closest hug I'll get from him.
And we've had a lot of asteroids and stuff come by us just recently
Yeah.
too. So, and the next one,
It's a comet, isn't it?
I thought it was a meteor.
but the asteroids, like on the 14th,
Oh yeah.
tomorrow we're gonna have a near one. It's 4.8 lunar distance. That's really, to me, it's not that near, but it is. And then the next one will be February 3rd and the 4th, and then on the February the 17th, it'll be 1.4 lunar distance. That's gonna be kind of close.
Yeah. And did you? I mean, in the 80s and 90s, where did all these blood moons and things come from? Because it was like a rare thing. Oh, there's eclipse. And then you didn't hear nothing for 10 years or so. Now there's like all this stuff every other week.
Thank you.
Remember when we were kids and we got to go out and view those? I mean, I do. I remember I was in elementary school.
Yeah, making the little boxes. So
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. And then this last one that we had, when was that? In 17 or 18? Was it 18? That one was creepy. I was outside with one of those solar, I bought it. It was like $100 freaking. And the guy told me at the sports stock store, he goes, if you don't do much with it, just bring it back in the box with the receipt and we'll read. I'm like, okay, good. I'll rent it for the day. Okay. So I sit out in the middle of my acre property, right? And I'm waiting for this thing to come. And I swear it was like that movie where everything was black and white and they were searching for color. It went black and white. And the creepiness of the temperature dropping so quickly. But it literally, I swear, everything looked black and white for moments. And I was tripping. I was like, wow, this just doesn't feel right. And nobody was with me to enjoy it, because they were at work. Yeah.
Hello, Miss Bonky. I hope you have had a good day today.
And I told her that you want to do a secret seed challenge with her this year.
Okay.
So you're going to have to find some seeds to trick her with them.
I've got a couple in mind.
Okay. And nothing like a tree or anything that's going to take a long time to grow. It has to be something she can harvest this year.
Yeah, it should be. I've got to get up there and get to see, because my brother, he's the one growing them.
Does she grow Egyptian spinach?
What in the world is Egyptian spinach? Does it have a turban on it?
No. But it's technically an all you can eat salad bar in a sense over in Egypt, because it was one of those drought tolerant plants. It was similar to a spinach plant, and Cleopatra and stuff like that, she'd eat it and stuff. Yeah, it's called Egyptian spinach.
Agent J, I think that may be the wrong type of seed.
Agent J, get up here.
Yeah, he would be good at growing them tacos.
Oh yeah, Taco Tuesdays.
What state does Vineyard Chicks in?
Same as 101.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would be safe to say she can't grow them seeds up there.
I don't know. They said I couldn't grow hibiscus up here, and I've got
really. No. I'm talking about legal seeds.
Well, no, don't go and send anything like that.
No, don't. I mean, I'm not.
We don't encourage any kind of illegal activity on this channel. That's your disclaimer.
If I get up and leave the stream for any reason, I'm sorry, but it's one of those ordeals. I got to.
Brussels sprouts again?
No, I figured it out. It's that chicken that I baked with the barbecue sauce on it. I don't think the barbecue sauce was all that good. Okay. I had it for about a year.
That's good.
Mr. John there, no cheating involved. I even didn't count the top of the pepper either, so I probably got another inch out of those peppers. But I plan on growing those peppers this year, though, because
I'm out.
Because I'm out of my paprika. And this year I'm going to smoke it. So not smoke it, but in the smoker.
Cool.
Yeah. We just got back from the store and the lady just bought a big thing of paprika, and they were talking amongst themselves, and said her husband puts it on cookie sheets and puts it in the smoker. And I'm thinking they sell smoked paprika. So
Oh.
I don't know why he goes through, unless he has a special wood that he smokes in it that gets it a different flavor or something, but I don't know. To me, if you're making smoked paprika, you start with the pepper, and then once you dry it out, then you put it in a smoker and smoke it, and then grind it up, and it's really, really good.
We used to be able to grow a lot of like habaneros and ghost peppers and stuff, and the climate's changed so much here in Eastern Washington. The last couple of years doesn't seem like the ground's warmed up enough. So maybe if I do it in a container, it'll be more
Yeah, raised bed.
raised bed, just because it's
Yeah.
not getting, isn't warming up here like it used to. It almost
Yeah.
feels like we're in more of a Seattle grow zone. And if that's the case, we're in big trouble, people, because this is the part of the country in Washington where your onions, your potatoes, and most of your pitted fruits come from.
Yeah, and what they won't tell you with potatoes, um, they're only releasing so many potatoes. That way they don't get too far behind. So you'll see a big rush of potatoes. You'll see like cells on them or something. It's because they release some, and then they won't release some for a while. It used to be they had storage bins full of potatoes because you can store them for
Mm-hmm.
a long time. And with the stuff that has happened, we went through all that storage, so they're only releasing so much potatoes at a time. So if one thing happens, we could be out of potatoes for a season.
Well, not only that, all this damaging weather coming in, hitting Idaho, the Red
Yeah.
River Valley is where the majority of your seed potatoes come from. And if you don't have the seed for the little potato, the little baby potato, you ain't gonna get any big potatoes, okay? Because you gotta have the babies. And they grow in the Red River Valley of Idaho. No, I'm not a hoe.
Yeah.
Knocking my cookies.
I think. Let me see, real quick. And the browser's going to run slow.
I don't like potatoes that much anymore, though. Now they're older.
Well, I try not to eat too many of them. I'd rather eat sweet potatoes.
Yeah, I think I'm liking the sweet potatoes better as I'm getting older. But you remember when you were little and at Thanksgiving and the candied yams with the nasty marshmallows on it? Man, I would never touch that stuff when I was a kid. Ugh. That was just ugh.
Well, I like it with you mix it up, you blend it up and whatnot, and then you put sprinkle brown sugar over top of it, and then chopped pecans on top of it, and then brown sugar on top of it, and then put it have it slow cook it, and that stuff's real good.
No, I don't do now because I live where they're like sandwiches, like I like the smushed up yams or sweet potatoes, and you put it on a tortilla and you put it kind of thin, and then you can put like eggs and scrambled eggs and bacon in it, and then you wrap it all up, and then you kind of grill it. Yeah. Okay, I know it sounds a little weird, but you replace regular potatoes, in your breakfast burrito with sweet potatoes, and actually it's not that bad. But you don't put any cinnamon or sweet stuff in it. And yeah, that's very Pacific Northwest weirdness.
And we're talking about the garden and stuff. And a lot of people will go by, when they plant stuff, they'll go by the temperature outside. And the most important part of it is the soil temperature.
Uh-huh.
And that depends where you're at too. So like up here we have to really pay attention to the soil temperature, because if you put stuff in there too early, just the soil temperature right there will stunt its growth.
Yeah, because it'll get too warm.
Well, no, it's too cold.
Oh, it's too cold.
Yeah. And that's why when we grow our peppers and tomatoes inside, we have heat pads. So
Yeah.
it keeps the soil at a certain temperature. If not, you notice the difference. You have really small plants, or they're really thin.
Spindly, and they don't have hardy stalks.
Yeah.
So then when you go to hard them outside, they still, the wind will pump them over. At least they have for me.
Well, that's when a lot of people didn't know, because I have a fan that will oscillating fan that blows my seedlings when they're inside. And are they hot? Are they hot? I said no, they're not hot. It's to strengthen the plant, because if not, they don't have no resistance or anything like that. Normally, if you plant them outside, you got the wind and all that stuff. But just a little breeze every once in a while will make the stems nice and strong.
And that's when you can experiment with your little solar fan, because you can put the little solar thing right there in the window, put the fan right there.
Yeah.
Get a little solar fan, literally.
Yep.
I got a couple of them. They're amazing. Because you never know when you're going to need to circulate the air away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I got a fan that was sent to me, but unfortunately they didn't send all the stuff, so I didn't do the review on it.
Oh.
And it's a rechargeable fan, and it actually you can recharge your phone off of the fan. So it works both ways, because it has an actual battery pack built onto the fan, so it lasts longer.
Oh, I think I have one of those.
And you can use it to like recharge your phone or a light or whatever.
Did it come from Harbor Freight? Because I bought a couple of those from Harbor Freight. It's got the light and the fan, and it's got the power box, so that in the sense that you can use it to charge your other stuff. But the solar fan I got that probably from Aunt Gina, but it's a light and it's a stand-up.
Oh, all that stuff comes from there.
But it has the little solar panel that you can move around, and if you've got your seedlings in the window, I mean, it just makes perfect sense. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Why sit there and run the extra electricity to harden your plants when you can use that solar?
Plus, you can test out your prepper gear.
Yeah, I don't think I have one here.
I'm
actually going to use a couple of the solar lamps that I got, lights that actually I can use for grow lights for my plants. So I'll just put solar outside and turn those things on in the daytime or nighttime.
Huh. I didn't even think about that.
That way I don't have to use electricity for the other grow lights.
Yeah, because those are expensive. They draw a lot of wattage. Mine does.
So one of the things we were talking about before, me and Jeff, were some of in the back in the day type stuff. Because I remember when, if there was a harvest or something, you just didn't do it yourself. Your neighbors came over, and it was like a big get together type thing. But the men would go out and do the work and whatnot, and usually women would come in and cook for the meal for the day, or do the canning or things like that. And I still remember when, and I was just a wee little guy at the time, because my grandpa would just not have a garden for himself. He would actually have acres and acres of garden, and then when something was to be harvested, like beans or something, everybody would come together and knock it out in one day, and then he would divvy it up to everybody who came. And there was no money involved. Everybody came over and harvest their beans and did all the canning and stuff. I also remember, because I got in trouble for breaking it. I don't know what it's called, and I was trying to think of this the other night. You know how lard is made. You put bits of fat and you cook it down, but there's a apparatus, I don't know what you call it, but you put in all the fat chunks that's been boiled down, so you can squeeze out all the oil from it. And it's a crank. You start cranking this down and it pushes it down
Like a press.
Yeah. And it's got a big old thing where it pushes down, and a spout at the bottom where all the oil comes out. And I remember, because I broke the handle, because I got up on it and pushed down and broke the handle. And oh man, everybody's screaming, he broke it. He broke it. I forget what the name of that thing was, but that's the thing. We had all these people that would come together, and we're making all this lard for everybody for the season. And that's one of the things that stuck in my head. Nowadays, when it's time to take a pig to, or a hog to the processor, a lot of times you only get the meat. Back then, every little thing was used, be it the feet, the snout, all that stuff. All that stuff was used. The fat was rendered into lard. And nowadays, it's just, you haul it over to the processor, and a couple weeks later, you go pick up the little packages of sausage and whatever else. And that's one of the things that we miss now, is neighbors coming together and doing all this together. And everybody gets something out of it. It's not like you come over and do it for nothing. And it's like, once you, like, this farmer say, well, I got hogs this week that need done up, and everybody come over and scrub them down, butcher them, all that stuff, and do all the rendering for everything, lard or whatever. And then the following week, the next farmer over there had cows or something, or chickens, and you go from there. And that, we don't have that anymore. I mean, very seldom do you have neighbors come over and, oh, do you need help with this? Let's get this done. And There isn't none of that.
Bushcraft, I have to jump up. My husband's coming home. I want to say hi to him. So
Okay.
back, you guys. I love you.
You have a good one,
See
Ben.
you later.
Oh my God, I kicked Lisa Anderson 901 miles away. I'm catching up to you, girl. It would be nice to have a neighborhood like that.
Yeah.
The way it is now, your neighbors won't even make an appearance and say, "How you doing?" no more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it's very, very seldom you'll be, outside doing some work and you'll wave at a neighbor or something. And that's about all you get. You
Yeah.
never get a little, or you'll be out there and, hey, how you doing? Or, like if their cars broke down or something, you over ask if they need any help, and oh, I got it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's,
But
we've been trained these last few years 6 feet away.
I mean,
Don't breathe on me.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't touch me. Oh.
well, when it first started out, I thought, you get a Karen or a Ken like that, it'd be kind of funny to cough down toward the floor. But it's gotten to the point, even if you do that, they can still get you like, oh, he's spreading something on me. And
Yeah.
people are, most people are just flat out assholes nowadays.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to let that word go, but I can't tone it down no better than that.
Yeah, and it's a shame. And I've talked about this all the time because it's something that irritates me. And today I had to mention it because I pulled, these old towns and stuff. You can only fit one car going down the road, so you have to pull over.
Yeah.
And let somebody go by. Well, I pulled over and the guy waved and said, "Thank you." And I'm like, wow, that's, you don't see that anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I do it all the time, but it's like, you don't see people wanting to do this stuff anymore.
Well, now, wait a minute. Let me back you up on that. Out here in the country, okay, the city is a totally different universe. But people out here in the country, they will wave at you, even if they don't know you. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. And most of them will talk to you. But you get in the city, it's like, don't wave at me, don't talk to me, don't
Oh
even
no,
look at me.
it's offense to wave at somebody when you're in a city or something.
Yeah.
Like this, hey, how's it going? What are you doing? What, you want something?
Now, if I wanted something, I would say it. Hey, I need some help or something like that, and see how fast he can run. But I mean, I kind of feel sorry for 101 a little bit because he's up there in a city to where,
You can't get nothing.
yeah, you
No
can't.
respect.
Like the wife said, no respect or nothing
Oh
else.
no, it's,
But I don't know if he was to move out in the county, how it would be up there. Hey, kitty, you got to have to be acknowledged. Look at him. He's grinning.
yeah, it's Spike. Most of the time, he's the one that's on my lap.
Ah,
I set back, it's going to be blue.
but yeah. Well, good evening, Miss Vanna with Ada. I hope I pronounced it right. But
Hey, Ada.
there's a big difference between city folk and I'm gonna say country folk. Okay, we talk different, we do things different, we get shit done right. And we take our
Yeah.
time doing it. We have a good time. To where up in the city, you can't joke, you can't cut up, or nothing like that, or you get rode up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but it.
Sure kind of Walmart, that's for sure.
Tell me about it. Yeah, I'm going to be one of the first ones to say this on the air. I'll be so glad when a certain retail store closes. I mean, I know there's going to be a bunch of people out of a job, but still, you ain't got to put up with the shit, the stuff. I got to get my words together tonight. I'm sorry. If I offend you, I apologize. But I'm trying.
Hey, Rose. Rose Young, how's it going?
Hello, Miss Rose. Now, there is another Bushcraft in chat.
Yeah, Virginia Bushcraft, I do believe.
I think so. But they said that they couldn't have a garden where they live.
Yeah, that's the case a lot of times.
But I mean, if you're I'm going to say an apartment, is it possible to have a bucket garden where you at?
Well, there are things that you can, I think they're aerators or something like that, where you can grow like lettuce and spinach and things like that.
Right. Hello, Mark.
It's got it. It doesn't use dirt or anything like that, so it uses water and stuff, and it only takes up a little space like that.
Yeah.
It has a little glow light, and I mean that's better than nothing. You know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah.
Life with Bobby just asked a question, and I don't know how to answer that one.
What would go through the sky and burn a green color?
The only thing that would come to mind would be something like a meteorite or meteor or something like that.
No,
Maybe
something
it's
that's burning an oxide, because that's green and blue.
Jack.
One of Superman's arch enemies. They burning off kryptonite. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Jet. I don't know.
No, jet wouldn't burn green; they'd burn white.
Oh, they burn white?
Yeah.
Hey, Arkwell man.
Yeah,
Is it John's truck?
I just read that. That would make a lot of sense. Cheech and Chong's, was it a trip? No, that was a van they had.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull them over.
You remember what's some of the old, I'm going to call it machinery, but it wasn't much machinery. Did you ever do a butter churner?
Yeah, Mom and Daddy had one, and I watched them do it, and they asked me, do I want to do it? And I said, are you kidding? It looks like too much work to me.
Jeff ran.
Yeah.
I've seen one.
Yeah.
My butter churn is the food processor now.
Yeah. Well, you can do it in a jar and just shake it for 10 hours, but
yeah, exactly. 10 hours.
Yeah. They actually have a thing to where you can put it in it's got that little auger or whatever you want to call it at the bottom. And it's actually made for doing butter.
Huh.
And as everybody knows, it's all it is cream that you put in there, heavy cream, and that runs, and then you have to strain off the buttermilk.
Now, I'm going to go one a little bit further back. It was you go out to the cornfield, you grab corn, you shuck it, and you throw it in there, and you turn the handle, and it separates the kernels from the cob. I don't know what. You ever seen one or worked one?
No, I'm not trying to be anything, but usually when I seen this, it was done. Women did it. I'm not saying men can't do it or anything, but that's just the way it was when I seen it done. And we had, because they used the stalks of the corn stalks, and they'd run it through the thing and get the juice out of it and make corn syrup.
About like sugar cane.
Yeah. And they used something else for something. I can't remember what it was, but it was the byproduct of doing this bit, because you'd have somebody feeding it through and one person cranking that handle all day, just doing this. Somebody'd run another one through.
Now, Chuck, I didn't say I worked one. I just said I seen one operate.
Whatever that was used for, I can't remember what they used the leftover stalks and stuff. They used it for something, but I can't remember what it was. But that's the thing, and unfortunately, the corn cobs were meant for something too. They got fed to the hogs, or they got used for something that we now have toilet paper for. That was the form of a toilet paper back then, and where I'm talking about, yep.
It's like I get your corn cob.
We had one store, and it was probably 12 miles away, and it sounds like I'm talking about 200 years ago, but this was just when I was a kid. And this is times I used to go to my grandpa's, and like I said, every little thing was used for something. Hardly anything got wasted.
Exactly.
And like when they did hogs or something, the skin, the feet, the snout, all that stuff was used.
Well, now, how many people in chat knows where pork rinds come from and how it's made? And Chuck, I'm not talking to you.
But corncob pipes. Yep. I remember my grandpa out there making corncob pipes by hand.
I have smoked a corncob pipe once or twice. That is the harshest pipe you'll smoke through until
once the first month or two, then it's seasoned in, and then it's fine. It's the first part of it,
I'm trying to find the name of that store they got out in Tennessee. It's just, I mean, old school. You walk in that store It's like walking back in time. I've seen videos, the whole 9 yards of it. Wait a minute, let's see if that's it.
Yeah, unfortunately, they had one here. It's a good ways away, but it was actually in trains because they had an old train and they had a store inside of them, and you'd walk through the aisles and you could see, you know, if you wanted to get certain candy, you get a scoop and put it in a bag and they'd weigh it and whatnot.
Yeah. Now we got a candy store like that in Lexington, North Carolina.
All kinds of candy.
Yeah.
Hog jaw. Oh, I love hog jaw.
I've tried that. I can't eat it. I've tried it.
Really, that's some of the best meat right there in that jaw.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying I don't like the taste to it. I don't know if it's because what I had was old or what it was.
Oh,
But okay, I can't find it.
is this it right here? Lyman's?
Is it in Tennessee? No.
Oh,
I want to say it starts with a B, and it's at the intersection of two major crossroads up there. And they've got a grill inside. And from what I've seen on the videos and everything, you will not walk away from there hungry, even one hamburger. I mean, it looked like it's about a pound and a half.
There was some, I can't remember.
It's about a pound and a half a hamburger patty. I bet it probably weighed between 5 and 8 pounds just a burger. But I'll let you know when I find it again.
hey, Carol Z. Yeah, Teach, you posted a link up there if you want to check it out. It's old general stores in Tennessee.
Let me TH2.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I hope I didn't boot nobody by accident.
I mean, and I say when, I'm not saying if, because I don't see any, just like this week, groceries have went up 8 to 10% on groceries.
Hmm.
And when I went out today, I seen it, and it was the same thing that I could have got last month is up so much more. But when are we at that point to when we start thinking about the old ways of doing things like that?
But you see, there's a problem with that. Today's generation does not have the know-how, and the ones who do have the knowledge, I hate to say it, but we're dying off.
Yeah.
You know,
there are some out there. I mean, we have some in chat. Look at Bunky.
Well,
she knows how to grow stuff.
True, but they were taught by elders also, you know. And sure, YouTube's got it, but you got to know what you're looking for, you know.
Yeah, and there's a lot of aren't there quarterbacks out there? I'll put it that way.
Yeah. There's a bunch of fake information out there, or they'll show you half of it and won't really show you the correct way of doing something.
Yeah. And I see a lot of this stuff.
I did not realize it.
What's that?
Oh, I'm looking at what TH2 sent me. I
Oh.
did not realize there were that many old school stores in Tennessee. And I still ain't come across the one I'm looking for.
I mean, say you're in a small community. I'm not talking like a city or anything because nobody's going to help you do anything there. But say your neighbor, they have a good, nice flat piece of land over there, but they're too old to do anything, to get out there and do anything. Back in my, I'll say it, back in my day, we would, if going over there and plowing up that little bit of ground and planting something, meant, like, if you didn't have a space on your side, you'd talk to your neighbor and say, if I plow that up and put a
Work it
garden
up.
in, we'll split it. And that usually there was no arguments or anything, and they'd come out and help or whatnot, and everybody would end up with a bunch of tomatoes or cucumbers or whatever it was.
Well, now, like I said, that right there, that's how we were raised up. Okay. And today, if a person would let me till up a acre of land, okay, I'd plant what they'd want and I'd plant what I'd want,
Yeah.
and like that we would share, and if they was too old or couldn't get out there, I would pick it for them, and take
Yeah.
it to them and so forth. But I mean, come on, think about it. It's coming, but I hate getting on this subject right here. I don't want to say our generation is that dumb. I'm just wanting to say our generation was not taught the way we were taught.
Mm-hmm.
That, and that's saying it as nice as I can put it.
Yeah, and it's not only the old things that we used to do that are disappearing. It's the compassion that's disappearing,
I'll go to that.
because, well, how I can't even say it.
Spell it.
The subject that the he, she, that, or them, they thing, that thing. Well, there's a new one out now, and hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying this, but it's called trans aged. So if Jeff, you how old do you feel right now?
You would have to use me on this one. How old do I feel?
Yeah. Well, how old do you want to feel?
Well, I'll put it to you like this. My mind says I'm 18, but my body says try it and you'll be in trouble.
Well, that's the trans age thing. I'm 18 years old. And that's a thing now. And unfortunately, there was a case where this guy, he did very bad things to little ones, and he represented himself in a court of law, and he says he's trans aged. He feels himself as being 8 years old, so it's not a crime. And we'll leave it at that. But that's the thing that is coming. That is the next thing.
Oh Lord.
We went past thinking you're a cat or a dog or a raccoon or stuff, or whatever else you want to say. But now it's the age thing.
Oh,
We
Lord.
make up our own age. We feel, oh, I don't feel like that today. I'm going to be this thing, or I'm going to be 12 years old again and go go play in mud puddles or
Right.
Well, hell, I know some 80-year-olds that still play in mud puddles. but the point of the matter is the people who's got sense, and I'm going to use it like that, playing with 8, 9, 10-year-olds. I can only see where that's going to lead with people who have sense. Okay. I'm not going to, because, you know,
And what
Yeah.
they're teaching these days, you don't never know what might come up.
yeah, millstone offense. I highly agree with that, little lone prepper.
Now we were talking back 200 years ago. There wasn't many of that stuff going on because there was a tree and a rope waiting for you, and there was no defense that well, I didn't get my rights read to me or something like that, or no evidence or whatever the case may be. If you got caught, you got to swing from a tree. And that was it.
Now, I'd have to talk to you in the back room.
Yeah.
We'd have a discussion over that right there. Because I've heard my daddy and my uncles talk about before they were born. Like
Mhm.
it,
And
it wasn't right, but it got done.
yeah, and it's getting to the point that where it used to be very bad, now it's getting to where it's okay. It's getting to where it's explained away to where they're getting it's kind of hard to talk about it because I don't want to get in trouble, but you guys can understand where I'm trying to go with it. It's actually going to where it's okay.
Whoa. You're going to have to put Bushy Bot in timeout.
That's Jeff, don't worry about it. He's already been gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
People.
Jeff got him before he started up.
Okay. My mind, if a person defends a person like that, then the two should be locked up together. And if y'all have any idea how I'm trying not to use certain words here, y'all would appreciate it. But like I said, people who defend people like that need to be locked up with them.
Yeah.
All they're after is the paycheck.
Yeah, and that pretty much says it up right there. They're making excuses for
Everything.
making it okay.
Yeah. Ain't that what the Bible says, where wrong will be right and right will be wrong? Ain't we there already?
It's heading that way.
You know, I just hope before the bad really gets bad, I'm out of here.
Yeah, and that's the thing with again with this, when the bad stuff happens, and it can be anything, and that's they had I was reading something a few days ago about stages of how stuff would start going, and we're in one of the stages where food is so expensive that you can't afford it.
Well, yeah.
You don't have enough to make it to the end of the month. So
No.
parents are skipping meals so their kids have food. And that's where we're at now. That's one stage. The next stage is losing incomes and things like that. The stage after that is no health care or anything like that, because all those places will be shutting down. The only place you could get help for medical stuff is at the very large states or cities, one place in a state. So a lot of people have to travel hundreds of miles to get to that one place to get help. And then you don't have law. And then you know what happens after that. And then there's the bad stuff that comes from no law being around.
Well, now you want to talk about health care. I had to go pick up one prescription. I got to get it every month. Normally, it was running me less than $4. Okay, which
they raised that this year.
Oh man, I got hit hard. It cost me, let's say, $11 for the same one. This being cost me about $3, and I get mine every 3 months. My next go round, I'm not going to have a paycheck after buying all that.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And
that's the stages that we're going through right now.
Yeah.
And then we have
learn how to go herbal, for my remedies. If it keeps on.
We have somebody that has no sense, and the other one, well, she doesn't really have any sense either, but who likes school buses, yellow school buses? I love school buses. I used to ride a school bus.
Are we talking about Velma?
No, this is
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Our lovely vice president. And she brings up the same subject every time she goes to speak somewhere, and nobody understands what the hell she's talking about, because she babbles around the same conversation about that has no making any sense about. But the school buses. Well, I can't wait till we have electric school buses. Okay.
I like to put her ass on one out in the country and let it drain. Let somebody with a gas-powered vehicle come pick her up. See how she likes that.
Mm-hmm. They're wanting to.
A gas-powered vehicle.
Yeah.
What about electric car?
Blow them all up, as far as I care.
Well, I don't have any problem with electric cars and stuff, but electric cars have to be powered by something.
Well,
to charge them up, and we can't. Christmas, we couldn't keep the lights on.
Now, I don't know if I said it on your stream, my stream, or it could have been 101 stream. If they want to push electric vehicles so hard, let them go ahead and get set up for the electric vehicles, get the power situated, and then come out with the electric vehicles. Now, I mean, dummy in office That's half what I wanted to say. Dummy in office is doing it backwards.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, everything he has done has been backwards.
Yeah, I could see Biden bringing burgers to a cookout. He'd bring the cow.
Well, you ain't gonna get no fresher than that.
Yeah, but you're forgetting a lot of process before you get to the ground beef.
That's where the kids come in, right? Ain't that how it was done when we were coming up? Hey, get up and turn the TV channel.
Not the antenna.
Yeah, turn the antenna. You know.
Oh, I remember. I had to stand there with a friggin' antenna. Wait right there, and I'd let go. Nope, grab it again.
And hold
come on.
full.
I'd scoot around to see if I could see what was on TV. No, stand back there.
You sent me hold 1 foot up.
The worst antenna that ever come out, HD antennas. Okay.
I never did that.
They told me I could not take an old school antenna and run an HD TV off of it. The first time I was told that, I was asked to leave the store. Okay. Yes, you can too. I've got 1, 2, 3 TVs running off of an outside antenna right now. Don't tell me you can't do it.
Hey, look,
Yeah,
it's
just shoot it
Shift
to death.
Kicker, the one and only robot that will kick your butt.
Shift Kicker come back in. I'm the type, if you tell me it can't be done, I may not do it right there, but somewhere down the road, I'm going to prove to you, yes, it can.
Who had who had an antenna that you'd stick up in the side of your house and you mounted it to the side?
What we had.
2 little wires that came down, and you had to hook them around the 2 little screws on the back end of your TV.
Or if you had the what do you call it?
I have come here to chew bubble gum and kick ass.
Lisa Anderson just come back in.
Oh,
But if you had a rotary, you had a motor on it, and then you had to run those 4 or 5 wires to the box in order for it to run.
yeah. Turn the knob. Turn it back the other way. Turn.
Yeah,
The antenna would turn, go back and forth.
yeah. But the good thing
on it to where you point toward where the station was.
And back then, I don't care if you had 500 million trees between the radio station and the antenna, it'd still pick up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, I still got one. You know, I mean,
2, 3.
I got 2.
2.
Yeah. The other one, that fat bird sat on it and broke it. But that's where you get a splitter and run 2 TVs off 1 antenna. Like I said, it can be done. Don't let nobody tell you it cannot be done.
Oh no, yeah, it can be done.
Yeah. And it also takes a lazy person to find the easiest way out of doing something too. I got to be the laziest one white person you ever seen. But I mean, everything, the knowledge is damn near gone. The thrive of doing something is gone. People do not or will not take pride in the work no more.
Oh no.
That, I mean, it, It's a crying shame to where we was at to where we are at today. And if a young person wants to learn something, I got the knowledge, sure, I'll tell them. But we live so far out in the country, our family only shows up once, maybe twice a year
We
to
don't
see
see
us.
them. We see them when we stay.
We have to go see them. And I think we got 2 gas trucks. I had to buy 2 gas trucks, one for each vehicle. But all right, I'm running out of stuff to say here.
But that was the thing back in the day, though, was who had the best antenna. And I remember gathering your rabbit ears. Sometimes you'd have to wrap some tinfoil on the end of it to get a little extra signal out of them.
Yeah. And I also found out if you got a screen on your window, if you was to hook up the rabbit ear to the screen itself and run some wire from the screen to your TV, you get damn good reception. Better than what them rabbit ears they got. And I hate to say it, but my daddy had the first remote TV out. Jeff, get up and change the channel.
So was I.
But how many people in here are old enough to remember when you was growing up and you had a bed? It wasn't just for one person. It was for all the kids, and only up in your teen years is when you got your bed to yourself.
Oh yeah. I've lived in some, I can't remember when the first time I actually had a bed. I remember always sleeping on the floor. Just grab your blanket and pull it over. You can go to sleep. Even when I was at my grandpa's, I slept by the coal stove because it isn't the warm place in the shanty, because it was just one room.
Mm-hmm.
Over on this end, you had your kitchen area, which was mainly a wood stove, and you had these little things up top where the fire would come out of it, and you toss some sticks down in there to get it going. And you'd have this little hook where you put the plate back down on it, and you'd put your cast iron stove or cast iron skillet on there to cook on.
Well,
you didn't have running water or anything. You had one of these tubs, which was a wash bucket, and that's where you did your dishes and cleaning and stuff. When you took a bath, you took that tub outside and took a bath on the front porch.
I forgot about washing the dishes. Yeah, they didn't have sinks like we got nowadays.
Oh no!
And I've probably said it once or twice, but coming up, I've heard my daddy say when he was a kid, he would wake up and it would be snow on the bed and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say I was lucky. I never lived in a house like that. And after me and my wife got married, Daddy took us up in the mountains to where he used to live, the same house he lived in. I can stand on one side of the house and see the road on the other side. I thought it was dilapidated. Daddy said, ain't changed a bit, still got the same holes in it. I looked at him like, really? You joking? Come to find out, I asked my uncles, they said the same thing. So,
Yeah, I went to
Evening.
Where I grew up a lot of, and this wasn't a permanent thing because once my dad got out of jail or wherever he was at, he'd come by and pick me up. But when I stayed with my grandpa, I stayed in this what is called a shanty. It's just one room, and
You talk about your dad picking you up out of jail like it's fucking picking
you're
you
real
up after
low.
work.
101.
are you feeling okay tonight, 101?
Yeah, kind of sick.
Oh,
Sounds like it.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
And I took my kids up there, and there was nothing left of it. But I knew exactly the spot because it was right next to the well, and I showed them how big of the area it was because I could still picture it there.
Yeah.
And I said that's where we lived. And I told them this is my little spot over here where I slept. And I said right over here was a kitchen, which is the kitchen wasn't really a kitchen, but yeah, back then it was. It's mainly where the kitchen table was and a couple counters.
Yeah.
If youngins today could live like we did coming up, there would be more respect.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing. And that when morning came, you had to get up, and my grandpa would do the coal stove, but I had to go out and get water. And just a little guy, I would have to you toss a metal bucket down in this well, and you'd have to pull it up. We didn't have no little crank thing like this that brought up the bucket. We had to pull it up like this, and then pour it into another bucket to take it inside.
Everybody back then had a job to do.
Oh yeah.
And it started at 5 years old and up. And when we talking about getting up in the morning, you talking anywhere between 3:30 and 5 o'clock. We ain't talking like no 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock getting up. Shit. By then, if my daddy had to holler at me twice, it's time to get up. That second time, your ass was coming out of that bed, whether you wanted to or not. That's just the way it was.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I mean, that was some of the best childhood that I remember, because once you got done with your chores and food, you ate your breakfast or whatever, then I went out in the woods and explored and had fun. Played with Crick.
Now coming up, you had yours before you had breakfast.
Oh yeah.
And then after breakfast, if you lived on the farm, you never really got done with your chores, period. That's the way it went. You had to go cut the hay, go do the corn or whatever like that,
I'm the type of person I can't do work without eating first.
Oh,
I will end up getting sick.
You would learn. Back then, you would learn real quick.
You either did your work or you didn't eat.
Yeah, straight up. And Dana B.
Okay, is there at least an exception for a cup of coffee first?
There may be for that.
Okay, I might be. I could tolerate that.
They may be for that.
I'm the
And
type of person, don't talk to me without the cup.
and Dana B, how many people nowadays knows how to wash clothes?
I know. Or what a washing board is.
Washing.
Yeah.
I wonder how much skin was left on one of them boards.
Yeah, these knuckles right there.
Or you take them down to the creek and beat them on a rock.
Yep. I've washed dishes in a creek. You know, the
God, I
sand.
can't get over that. It's
What?
creek.
It's crick.
It's correct.
Damn Southerners.
You city boys don't know nothing.
Damn Southerners.
But you take the sand out of the crick and you wash your plates with it.
Worse. I'll put up with worse, okay? But
I forgot about that, but yeah, you're right on that about washing the dishes with sand.
oh, when I moved to Alabama, the saying that tripped me up a lot of the time was, "Go put this up." I'm like, "Up where?"
Did you ever go to the fishing hole?
Yeah,
Okay.
Up yonder.
over yonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I never understood that one. It was like, "Go put this up." Up where? I'm like, and I as a kid,
better figure it out.
I was like 6 or 7 years old, and my neighbor, his mom asked me to go put something up, and I'm looking up for some kind of shelf in the garage. I'm like, where is it?
Where you coming to put it up?
Up where? I don't know.
and then you know that thing I told you put up? Where'd you put it?
Right.
I put it up.
I mean, now I
Then go get it.
but I've never. For us, it's put it away.
No, trust me. I told my youngest to put something away. It went up underneath the bed or in the drawer.
Yeah, or the closet.
Yeah.
Now, what's the difference between putting something up and putting something away then?
Well, when you put something away, 9 out of 10 times it's a half-eaten sandwich or it's a dirty plate or something like that. Now, put it up means take care of it. I don't want to see nothing dirty.
Oh, I always used it in a utilitarian sense. Like you put the tools in the garage up. You know, put the garden stuff up. You know.
Shit, I wasn't allowed to touch tools until I bought my own.
What I'm saying is that meant for more of like the outside stuff, putting stuff up. Putting stuff away is like putting your clothes away in your drawer, or the finer details of.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
Yep. There's a good.
You right.
Go put your dad's hammer up in the garage, like something like that.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 times it never made it to the garage.
Well,
is that right next to the straight Raj? The garage?
Yeah.
Was talking to my son today about back in my day we actually had to write out our little notes to give to a girl or whatnot. And nowadays it's just
I want to do a challenge today. No. Everybody or anybody who's got kids, I'm going to say 18 and under, have them to write out some words without them getting on the computer and see just how good they are at spelling. Now, me, hell, I'm 62, 63 years old. I'm one of them.
I will still.
I spell it the way it sounds, and I don't give a damn.
I will still screw up my L's and my E's at the end of words. I'm like, it all sounds the same to me.
E before L or L before E?
Right.
Is it you?
Or I
Is
for
it
E or E
you
for I.
before I? Is it you before Ida? Idaho.
But
You.
say you got home from school and you really want to talk to a girl,
Oh,
and
no.
you don't have a phone because they're for them rich people.
Mhm.
And you live in the country, so the only thing you have to do is either you have a bicycle or you walk to her house, and then you get handed her a note and then walked home, and you had to wait for the next day when you got to school to find out what the answer was going to be.
Hooked on phonics.
For me, it was going over to my next door neighbor's house, knocking on the door, and then, yeah, that was it.
Well, now for me, it was sitting in class writing a note. Do you like me? Yes or no? Check one. That was it. And
Not
the
gonna lie, I've done that in my life, and it
pray.
didn't end in any answer. It just ended up with the note going in the garbage.
You remember that game where they used to go like,
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, or
yeah, how many
red,
kids you're
blue.
going to have and what's your favorite color?
Oh, the
and
fortune teller things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, peel this back. Oh, you're going to have 10 kids. Oh, thanks.
Bullshit.
I'm still
Well,
waiting.
back then I can understand having 10 kids. Okay.
Now,
Nowadays, if you got 10 kids, you running an orphanage.
now, anybody, is there anybody in chat that knows how to fold one of those up or fold up a football?
What's it
Yeah.
called? A Yugami?
Origami.
Yeah.
You got me?
No, they can do it. Japanese can do it with animals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I
Or
keep
origami.
Yeah, what he said. I thought those were so awesome.
Taxidermy.
That'll work too. I would love to be a taxidermy. Can you
No, you
imagine
wouldn't.
how much? Yeah, I would. Can you imagine how much free meat you would have?
Could you imagine the smell?
That's why they put them in the freezer, and they do biggest part of
But
it.
while you're working on them, Jeff, they stink.
Gotta work on them.
Yeah, but they do that outside or in a screened-in porch. They do down here. I don't know about up there in Yankeeville.
Up here, it's an industrial process. You don't want to be anywhere near the tannery.
We call it a slaughterhouse down here. Oh, you want to be talking about that? Here where we live, a little city, which I'm not going to name, they've got to where they bring cows and horses in to be auctioned off. Okay. Now, in that little place, they've got a restaurant, hamburgers and hot dogs, and they say it's fresh. And I asked the wife, I said, does that mean what I think that means?
It's fresh, all right. Once you walk.
Where do you get it from? Oh, just across the street or in the back.
Exactly.
Where they auction off horses and bulls.
Or you get a customer and be like, this meat's rotten. Well, go complain to the guy 200 feet that way.
Oh, hey, the best one I've seen is where a guy goes to milk his cow. Come to find out, it ain't a cow he's got is a bull.
Oh.
And he says that milk's a little salty. I shouldn't have said that in here
I was
tonight.
gonna say, how the hell would you? What?
Yeah, it took him a long time to milk it. I gotta quit that. There's people in here that
Jeff,
don't
shut
need
the
to
fuck
be here.
Just please save that shit for my stream.
There you go. The chemicals alone stink. Well,
Yeah.
back in the day, like if for a deer, if you wanted to keep the leather, you use the deer's brain.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't nearly stink as much as the chemicals do.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Back then, it didn't stink as bad. I mean, yeah, you
Yeah.
had rotten flesh, but you put that shit downwind and you could deal
And
with it.
there's just enough matter from that one animal to do the whole hide. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. And if you do a good enough job scraping it to get all the connective tissue on the
Yeah.
underside off, you really don't have that much of a smell. I mean, it's there, but it's not there.
Oh yeah.
Didn't they use rocks to for scraping?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
used
The bones too.
obsidian.
Yeah. And if you ripped it or whatever, well, that
Oh.
hide ain't no good.
You ruined it. Yep.
Yep.
I mean, you could probably
They
put
would-
it up and use
they'd
it
still
for
use
other
it.
things.
Yeah.
But
Part of the
Listen-
buffalo was used for that, for the
Yeah.
scraping. I can't remember what bone it was, but it was perfectly shaped for it, and that's what they would use
Yeah.
because it's the buffalo, and that's the main thing that they. Well, depending on which Indians, but and they'd keep, and that's the thing, kind of what we're on today about the old ways. They would use the tendons and the bones and the hooves and every little bit of their kills. And that's where we need to start thinking of that old ways that we used all that stuff. Like I said,
nobody
nowadays
knows
you
that
just
shit no more.
you just take the animal in and they process it, and that you only get the meat from it. You don't get anything else.
Dude, if you
Unless
use
you're-
bones and the tendons and all that, you wouldn't need half the shit you need.
Yeah. And you get charged extra if you want the tallow or for the pig, the fat from the pig.
Because you make candles out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, lard is the main thing you get from the pig. But you have to pay extra if you want that stuff now.
Well, yeah, because they know what it's worth.
Well, it's an extra step that they have to do.
Well,
But-
there's that too. But
Back in the day, we always did those steps because we always used all that stuff. The pig skin.
Now,
that's one hell of a snack.
Now, I remember my neighbors doing hogs, but I was too young to help or participate in it. Okay. And they'd be going over there and pulling out what I thought was chips. Hell, I didn't know what they was, and eating them. And they asked me, did I want one? I said, yeah, I'll try one. That was some of the best chips I ever ate. Until years on down the road till I figured out what it was.
it's like, Jeff, that's pork skin.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that. Hell, I was what, about 5 or 6 years old, give
Yeah,
or
that'll
take.
do it.
Well, how many times have you had to pull out a hair?
Quite a few times. I mean, to this day, I will eat them. But if I go buy a bag and this tastes greasier more than what it should, I won't eat it.
It's not the same. I mean,
No.
if you've had one that you've raised, and that skin, that fried skin, comes up to the top and puffs out, and then you pull it aside and you eat it right then and there. Oh,
That's good. That's
it's
about
so
like
much
fresh
better.
donut. It's like a fresh donut. If
Yeah.
you get one that just got made and it's still good and warm, you'll never eat another cold one.
One thing I will credit the South with is,
of course,
when I first had a Krispy Kreme donut, and it was like, where have you been all my life?
Yeah.
Oh, what is that?
Now there's one down here at the coast. I can't think of the name of it, but it'll put Krispy Kreme to shame.
Craig needs to be here because it's from Louisiana. They put a little baby in it. It's not a real baby. It's a toy. I can't remember. It's a little cake, but oh man, that stuff it's really good.
I've heard of that. I can't say as I've ever tried one, but I've heard.
Can't name it. Think of it now. Or another one is Indian bread. Oh, I love Indian bread.
Fried Indian bread.
What's that?
Oh hell yeah!
Isn't that greasy for now?
Yeah, that's what. Brenda
there it
used
is.
to cook.
What is Indian bread? Someone explain.
It's bread that
it's fried
dough, and you fry it up and usually in good grease, not
like a funnel cake.
No,
no, that's flavored and stuff. It's just bread, and you sprinkle
pull up on
sugar or cinnamon sugar on there.
Pull up on YouTube fried Indian bread. I mean, they made it back in the pioneer days.
All right, I gotta look this up. Hold on a minute.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's I just call it fry bread.
Yeah,
because you know.
Oh, yeah.
These
I've
days,
had this before.
You get in trouble for saying it's anything other than fry bread.
Oh bullshit! Let them put me in trouble then.
Not on your shave.
I've had that shit before.
And it did. I mean, why? It's hot. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
when it cools down, it's like rubber.
Yeah,
well,
you know what it is?
Good.
You know what it is? It's an elephant ear.
No,
Yeah.
That's
it looks like an elephant ear.
That's a batter. This is actual bread.
Huh.
That's
bread
fried
dough.
in a cast iron.
Yeah.
Huh.
And that's the thing. It depends. If you take it out, you can actually use it as a sandwich or something like that.
Yeah, you can. And I've seen people take, I'm going to say chopsticks and turn it over in the grease.
Yeah.
I've never seen a spatula go in or anything else.
Okay, are any of you familiar with Italian desserts?
A little bit.
Do you know what bignolata is?
What?
No.
It's basically like Krispy Kreme donut, but dunked in sprinkles, and you make it by hand. And yeah.
Well, yeah, hold on for a minute. Barb, can you email me the recipe for that blackberry pie or blackberry cobbler? Thank you. Okay, y'all go ahead. No, babe, yours was good. No doubt. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I've had that fry bread. I've had it both ways, to where there's cinnamon sugar sprinkled on it, or packed with meat, and then you fold it over like a taco and eat it.
No, I've not had it like that. I have had it with the cinnamon on it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, I've got recipes on, fried bread. You know, like that. I've got about 4 or 5 recipes on how to do it. Matter of fact, the first time I ever ate any, the woman got the recipe from me.
Fucking YouTube.
What?
And I've actually
I typed in Bin Laden Italian dessert. It auto corrected to Bin Laden desert.
oh boy.
Fucking hell.
Now, I am familiar with a Chinese donut. Damn, that's good. It's like the whole from a donut, but it's sugary and it's real light and airy.
You mean that's Japanese. It's a little
I
white
don't
puffy
care.
ball.
Mine wasn't white. Mine had a little brown to it.
Well, you cooked it too long.
I didn't cook it. They did, but
well,
it
the Japanese
was
ones
good.
are steamed.
I don't care what it was. It was good.
Yeah.
And it got to the point every time I'd go in a restaurant, I'd get about 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah.
No wonder I can't find it. People call it different things.
Duh.
It's Strafoli.
You just call it whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but if you looking it up, but you have to put in what it.
Well,
they
I call it something totally different, but I guess other people call it something else.
Oh, you call it by its correct name, huh? Well, hey, what you have to do is you have to get a computer from Italy. You know, it wouldn't be me if I didn't do stuff like that.
Damn Italians.
Yeah. And that fry bread, it actually, you don't have to fry it. You can actually cook it on a stone, because that's the very first time I had it.
Backstage.
And it was from a friend of mine invited me to a reservation, and then his grandma made all this food right there on the fire.
That's Bin Laden, otherwise known as Strafoli.
Okay, yeah, I've had that, but it was called Japanese donut or Japanese bread. I can't remember if it was Chinese or Japanese. No, it was Chinese restaurant I got it at.
Well,
In
that's
Chapel Hill.
a lot of the Chinese restaurants are it's American food.
Strafoli.
Because they'll even tell you that a lot of their food a lot of the Chinese food that you get at restaurants and stuff is technically American food because it was created here.
Piano Love, I'm gonna have to try that.
It was based on what they made in the old country is what they call it, but like fortune cookies, that's an American thing. It's not something that was made in China or anything.
They good too. You got to take the paper out.
Yeah, I was gonna say that those pretty much look like glazed donut holes.
No shit.
Well, hell, they sell donut holes down here. Now you can't say, I bet you can't eat the whole out of a donut no more.
So, side note, and totally oddball of a headline here. Do you guys know the channel Survival on Purpose?
No.
Not really.
Okay, well, apparently he was arrested for aggravated assault.
Who the hell did you...
I don't know. I just scrolling through here. It's like, holy shit.
What was the name of it again?
Survival on Purpose.
Huh. I've never heard of him.
Yeah, he's been around the last like 13 years. He's one of the originals.
Must have been an X.
Probably one of the oldest channels.
Bushcraft.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pause for a little bit.
Okay.
You know, at our age, you can't trust your muscles no more.
Make sure you wash good after you're done.
Oh dear.
Definitely. Do I have to use soap?
I would hope so. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say before he said he was going to the bathroom or taking a break.
Sure. I can't think of anything.
Dang it. I had a subject too, and I was. Oh well, come up with something else. Oh, with the when I was went to the reservation, I stayed there for a week, and some of the best food. Half of it I didn't know what the hell it was, but I ate it anyway.
Do they require a reservation to eat there?
No.
I'm horrible. I need to stop this shit.
Yeah.
It's bad.
And that's another place I slept in a shanty. I don't think they call it a shanty, but it's just a 4 walls and a door, and that was it. Did all the cooking on the outside.
Huh.
It was time we rustled up firewood, and his grandma would get out there and make the bread and all kinds of stew or whatever it was. I don't know what it was, but it was good.
Huh.
And that's a thing. I went out and I was there for a week, and because a lot of times they'll say that.
Jeff says I might not be in front of my laptop, but I can still hear and talk to you.
Well, keep being muted, please.
Oh dear.
They say Indians don't like outsiders or anything like that. I stayed there for a whole week and didn't get harassed or called names or wasn't looked down upon or anything like that. It was a fun time for me.
Because I knew you were just a visitor, not part of the government.
Well, I think it's just how you treat people.
Well, there's that too.
If you, because you can tell when there's somebody kind of looks down at you or thinks that they're better than you or something like that. You kind of get that
Right.
feeling, and that there would turn somebody from doing something like that.
I will never understand why people do that.
And a lot of times, like Thanksgiving, has been the last few years have been a bad thing, evidently nowadays, because it's disrespecting Indians and stuff.
How? They were there.
Yeah, I know. We did do bad stuff.
That was us, like.
But during that time, they all got together and had a good meal.
I mean, during that time, that was where we set aside our differences and got together. There's not anything more accepting than thanks. Oh my God, these people are fucking idiots. Sorry.
And it's well, in Christmas. I mean, you can't say Merry Christmas. That's not appropriate. You have to say Happy Holidays.
My boss was like, okay, so there's a girl at my work. She's like, Happy Holidays. And my boss is like, we say Merry Christmas around here. Get it right.
Now, if you're Jewish and you what the Hanukkah. They say happy. I'll say it back to them. I'm not
Yeah.
Jewish, but I'll respect that it's their religion. Whatever other ones are, Kwanzaa or something like that.
No, there was hold on a minute.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different religions that have different dates and stuff. But
It's not Kwanzaa, according to Pelosi. It's here. You're gonna kick out of this. I'm sorry, I have to.
she's about as bad as that. I love yellow buses.
This bill puts people over politics. Mr. Speaker, it was sad to hear the minority leader earlier say that this legislation is the most shameful thing to be seen on the House floor in this Congress. I can't help but wonder, had he forgotten January 6th? Indeed, this is the day of immense patriotism. And that's patriotism. We reformed the Electoral Compact Act of 19
The what?
to thwart future attempts to disrupt
It gets better.
the peaceful transfer of power. And as I've said before, here in the heart of our democracy. Mr. Speaker, this is truly a power for the people. And with immense gratitude to Chairwoman Rosa DeLauro, Patrick Leahy, to Chairman Patrick Leahy, Vice Chair Shelby, I urge strong bipartisan aye vote, yield back the balance of my time, and wish everyone a happy, healthy, and safe New Year. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Schwanza. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever it is.
What the fuck is Schwanza?
Swanza?
Look it, happy Schwanza.
Is that a thing?
No. She meant to say Kwanzaa, but she said Schwanza.
Happy Hanukkah. Whatever it is you celebrate, be safe. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Schwanza. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Schwanza. I'm sorry. You said Kwanzaa, and I immediately went to that. It doesn't get any better.
And that right there proves what Speaker Dude said. J6 was all political. It was politicalized. I can't even say it.
Now you're slurring your speech like she does.
Yeah. And I haven't had anything to drink.
Oh, Lord. Jeff, hurry the fuck up.
Yeah, you have to say out. Yeah, do you see the
Hello? The what? Hello?
the bit about Camilo?
It takes time to do a masterpiece in art.
Guys?
Hello? I'm back.
Hello?
Can you
Y'all
hear
are
me?
freezing up on me.
Yeah, my internet again.
101.
Yes.
It takes time to do a masterpiece.
Well, my grandpa said they told him in the military, when they told him to shit, he just said, how many piles and how high? So, I don't know if that counts as a masterpiece, though.
I'm going to take for granted you're going to go live tonight as much bullshit as you talking here.
Well, yeah.
We're just going to continue it there.
Exactly.
Okay, it's
Well.
101 stream now. Out.
I'll see you guys over there.
Yep.
Don't
I
let
wanna
the
thank-
button get you.
Thank
Oh.
everyone for hanging out with us tonight. Should be back again Tuesday with another fabulous live. Thank you, mods, for keeping the channel and the riffraff out. And like always, I'll go ahead and leave you with this.
I did not.